And a quality of life that others can be inspired by. But let me qualify transformation here, since you brought it up, and the power to transform. Nobody can truly transform you. Nobody has any true power over you. You cannot be brainwashed, you cannot be converted into anything, and you cannot be persuaded. All of it comes from you. So when we say we have the power to change the world, what we are really saying is that we have the power to inspire others to choose that for themselves. So it's not...
Welcome to the basic facts of the universal medicine cult. Let's start with an energetic impression. Serge Isaac Benhayon was born in Montevideo, Uruguay in 1964. Then his family moved to Australia when he was 6 years old. Benhayon lived a pretty normal life, and getting into sports at a young age would lead him into the career of being a tennis coach. But after 20 years in the business, Benhayon went bankrupt. In September of 1999, Benhayon claims that while he was sitting on the toilet, he suddenly received what he calls an energetic impression. According to Benhayon, these impressions gave him all the knowledge on how the body works, the real causes of disease, and methods of healing the body. He also claims that these impressions came from an ancient lineage of living wisdom known as the Sons of God, which includes Hermes, Plato, Pythagoras, Jesus, Muhammad, and Leonardo da Vinci. Alcohol releases evil spirits. After more energetic impressions came to Benhayon, he began to practice his healing techniques out of his home for a fee. After building a small customer base and obtaining followers, he moved on to giving workshops about his healing techniques and everything the Sons of God have told him. He also began to tell people that he had been reincarnated thousands of times, and among them he has been Leonardo da Vinci, Pythagoras, Imhotep, St. Peter, an unknown female teacher from America, and an unknown man with no children from Asia. In 1999, after making enough money, Benhayon established his company as Universal Medicine in Sydney, Australia, and begins practicing his teachings, although he has no medical qualifications. Benhayon also began to publish books, charge for courses on his teachings, and traveled around giving lectures, all while gaining a bigger following. According to former members, Benhayon teaches that disabled children, such as those with Down syndrome, were evil in their past life, and their disability is because of karma. He also states that sexual abuse victims are abused because they were possibly a sexual abuser in their past life. He teaches female members to not exercise too vigorously, otherwise they risk ruining their fertility, and that they should never participate in sports. He also teaches that any illness in the body is caused by evil spirits, and that cancer is self-caused by rejection and lack of self-love. Benhayon also tells his followers that racism doesn't exist, because people consciously choose what race they will be before they're born, so they are responsible for the repercussions of what race they are. Benhayon states that the evil spirits he speaks about are 9 feet tall, have no feet, an indent where their nose should be, gray bodies, and long thin fingers. Members have been told to burp a lot to get rid of these spirits. Other than causing illness, these evil spirits can cause men to rape their daughters and or other women if they have sex with a woman who is possessed by these spirits, aka sick. Besides the teachings, former members have stated that as a member, you're put on a very restricted diet consisting of 1 meal a day, no matter what your age, and your meal cannot contain gluten, dairy, carrots, coffee, or potatoes. They are also told that if they consume alcohol, they will be possessed by evil spirits. They've also stated that members are not allowed to associate with anyone who shuns the group's teachings. Members must be in bed by 9 p.m. and up at 3 a.m., and Benhayon also makes the decision if couples can have sex or not. The media begins to investigate the group. In 2002, the following had grown big enough that Benhayon began to train certain members to be practitioners of his teachings. It costs these members a fee to become a practitioner, and they must pay to continue to be one. In 2011, the group would establish the College of Universal Medicine, which was paid for by members' donations. In July of 2012, media outlets began to investigate the group when former members told them about the esoteric breast massages the group performed. Benhayon claims that they prevent and cure breast cancer, and even the group's website stated that one of the causes for breast cancer is the push for greater equality because it causes women to take on masculine energy. Soon after the group found out they were being investigated, they removed all of the esoteric breast massage claims from their website. The case of Judith McIntyre. In 2014, the group begins to run a yearly festival called the Girl to Woman Festival, which they claimed was to celebrate females. In 2015, the group files a defamation lawsuit against former member Esther Rocket because of criticism she posted on her blog and Twitter account against the group. That same year, Benhayon was taken to court by a former member's family. The family stated that Benhayon had manipulated their late mother, Judith McIntyre, into leaving half of her estate to him in her will. Even though McIntyre's daughter had emails proving that Benhayon had manipulated their mother out of $1 million, the emails were kept out of court because the judge ruled them inadmissible. The children eventually lost the case against Benhayon when the judge declared that the late McIntyre was of sound mind when she finalized her will. Universal Medicine versus Esther Rocket. In 2016, 20 members joined the Australian Doctors Reform Lobby group in an attempt to take it over. Original members of the doctors group stated that the UN members came in, tried to take over the group's social media accounts, and placed themselves on the board of directors without consent. Eventually, the members were forced to leave the group. In 2018, the group finally went to trial in Sydney against Esther Rocket. Throughout the trial, 2 former members testified against the group, stating that all of Rocket's accusations are true, that the group is a harmful cult that makes fake claims about healing, that Benhayon is a charlatan, Benhayon was having girls as young as 10 staying at his house without their parents present, and women were being inappropriately touched during healing sessions. The trial lasted close to 6 weeks, with the court siding with Rocket, stating her accusations were true based off the evidence. Benhayon was ordered to pay around $1.2 million to cover Rocket's legal expenses. The group is still active. In 2019, the group was forced to shut down their Girl to Woman festival because of Rocket's findings that it was being used as a recruitment strategy for underage girls. The group is still very active today in Australia and the UK, recruiting and publishing books. It's believed there are a few thousand members of Universal Medicine today, with most of them being female. Till this day, none of Benhayon's healing methods have been proven to work. But whether or not you believe Benhayon is a reincarnated son of God, you now know the basic facts of the Universal Medicine cult. Thanks for watching.